Stop scrolling. You won't believe what just happened between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. This press conference went from calm words to total chaos. Fists were thrown, egos clashed, and the tension? Explosive. And trust me, what happens next inside the ring is something you cannot afford to miss. Stay watching, because this fight is about to redefine everything you thought you knew about boxing. The Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul press conference, which was full of trash talk, exploded into chaos. What started as words quickly turned physical, leaving the event in total mayhem. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing.
No will definitely come and join us.
There's some pushing going on.
Security guards pushing each other as well up there. That we don't want to see. There's a couple of
we don't want to see a brawl there.
We don't want to see. Hey.
Anthony Joshua made it clear he is not here for the drama or hype. This fight is serious. His words and body language show that he wants to prove who is the real champion inside the ring. Joshua promises he will not hold back. This isn't an exhibition or a friendly fight, it's a real test of skill, power, and experience. He wants everyone to remember why he's at the top.
If I'm going to be honest, I'm going to break his face, I'm going to break his body up, I'm going to stomp all over him. That's my mentality, right? That's a fighter's mentality, and I know what's in my heart, I know what's in my mind, and I'm here to compete. I'm here to prove myself that I'm the better fighter, so I'm looking forward to it. And
the room got tense when Joshua spoke about respect. Both egos in the room suddenly felt smaller. He warned that he will not accept disrespect from Jake Paul. Joshua compared this fight to the brutal Francis Ngannou match, sending a clear message: this will not be easy, and the consequences will be real on fight night.
Carrying boxing on my back. I've done it with the Ngannou fight, and I'm going to do it again. I understand the expectation. I don't carry it because the expectation I have of myself is already enough, but I understand it, I acknowledge it, and I respect it. But that's about it as far as outside.
Eddie Hearn stepped in to calm things down and explain the stakes. He said Jake Paul knows the punishment he could face once the fight starts. A lot of money is already invested in this event, and there's no turning back. Jake has to face the reality of his decision and accept what comes with stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua.
No, I mean, look, they've spent.
Ludicrous it is that they're fighting.
Netflix have spent a lot of money. MVP have spent a lot of money, and Jake would look like a plonker if he pulled out the fight now after giving it the big one, and he knows that. And this fight's happening, you know, and that they, you know, they think. Look, one thing I'll say is this. If there was ever a good time to fight Anthony Joshua, it's probably now, right? Coming out of what will be 14 months of inactivity. By the way, he's also been in training camp for 4 weeks or 5 weeks, the time comes.
Despite the warnings, Jake Paul's confidence remains unshaken. At the press conference, he claimed he's the better boxer and argued that Joshua only has an edge on paper. Jake sees himself as underrated and insists his skills are stronger than people think. His ego is louder than ever, and mentally he doesn't see himself as an underdog.
And how has the approach in terms of strategy and preparation been for this fight? Because most of your fights, since you don't have as much of experience as your opponents, you've made up with youth and size. For this one, you know, you're fighting somebody that's prime, somebody that's bigger than you. So how has that change been?
Yeah, on paper, the cards are stacked against me. But really, in terms of boxing, I'm a better boxer than AJ, which is like hilarious to state. But he's got 2 left feet. He's stiff. If I was his coach, I'd put him in a dance class first before trying to box. And really just bringing in the right sparring partners to help me prepare so that I can get looks that are similar to him. And that's really just been the strategy. But I'm just going to go in there.
Alexander Usyk's team gave insight into Joshua's preparation. After his fight with Usyk, Joshua was advised to evolve and refine his style. He joined forces with their team to improve his movement, strategy, and ring intelligence. The goal isn't to rebuild Joshua, but to make him sharper, stronger, and smarter for this fight. Fans can expect a very different Joshua in the ring against Jake Paul.
We spoke about you need AJ, you need something change, you know. And okay, come and train in camp and see what we do. And Jay, come. Now we're here and supper.
Weight adjustments have become a key factor for Joshua. For the first time, he had to manage his weight differently, but sources say he looks stronger and more powerful than ever. Even after making weight, Joshua still carries knockout power. His punches remain dangerous, and his team believes this new balance of strength and agility will be extremely hard for Jake Paul to handle.
I think this was a miscalculation from Jake's team. I think that their best chance was having AJ be a bit more stagnant and not being able to move as fluidly and as well, so that Jake could be a bit faster, so that he could be a bit more elusive, and that AJ would have a harder time tracking him. Not to say that, you know, at a certain point he wouldn't get him, but that would be the idea. The bigger, way slower AJ at like 260 or whatever, 255 plus. What Jake is saying, though, doesn't make any sense. He's like, oh, I think it was a miscalculation for them to agree, I assume is what he means, for AJ to get to 245 so that he's lighter, all that. That's a I think it was a miscalculation. That's a disadvantage to AJ's power somehow. AJ's not stripping away muscle to get to 245. He's just not as bulky, heavy as he normally would be. And AJ has fought at this weight before in the Usyk fights, as Jake pointed out. And this is not something that Jake's power. The reason he didn't beat Usyk wasn't because he didn't have power. Usyk was just better. Point blank period. He's the best in the world. Jake is not Usyk. Jake can take bits and pieces of Alexander Usyk, but he's not that. And AJ's power will still be devastating at 245, just like it would be at 255 or 260. Him taking that 10 pounds away and by the way, it wasn't like he did a cut to try to make the weight. He is that weight right now. A lighter version, a more speedy, compact version of AJ, he's still going to hit like a Mack truck. He didn't just lose all that muscle and all that ability to turn punches over. That's still going to be there. And if Jake thinks that AJ needs to be 260 for AJ to knock him out, that's also fucking crazy. Now, Jake says something even more insane to me than the fact that, oh, AJ made a miscalculation getting to 245. He says that his skills are better than AJ. And I just don't know where the evidence of that is. Like, I understand Jake is confident in himself, but point to me a fight where Jake showed better skill. I don't see it. And again, Jake is always telling us how he never gets to show.
True Jordy explained why this fight is risky for Jake Paul. Jake was preparing for a smaller opponent like Gervonta Davis. Suddenly facing Joshua, who is bigger, stronger, and heavier, means Jake has to completely change his strategy. Every move, from footwork to defense, is different now. Joshua's size and power could limit Jake's movement and reduce his chances to attack. The short preparation time raises serious doubts about Jake's readiness.
Proven literally millions of people wrong just to get to that level, just to show that bravery. Fair fucks to Jake Paul. Now let's get real. Now it's time to get really serious, because this is worrying, this. I think the way that he has gone about this fight, it's just wrong. The fact that he was training for Tank Davis, matter of weeks beforehand, who's a literal midget. Sorry, little person. I don't want to. And then you go from that to fighting one of the biggest, strongest, hard-hitting heavyweights in world boxing. It smacks of, I am not prepared for this, and I'm just fucking rolling the dice. And I admire it, the courage. But, like, if you're gonna do this, you have to take it as seriously as a man like Anthony Joshua deserves to be taken. And a couple of weeks of sparring, you know, a few heavyweights, that ain't serious enough for me. I've interviewed Tom Aspinall. He exclusively trains with heavyweights because he's in the heavyweight division year round. And he says, heavyweight fighting, it's a different sport almost, because the consequences of making a mistake are so much more diabolical that you have to train differently. And a quick turnaround like this and being like, yeah, fuck it, I'll take AJ. If I was his advisors, I'd be like, look, if you insist on fucking doing this nonsense, because this is crazy, we're gonna take a good 6 to 12 months solid training with heavyweights. We're gonna fucking make sure that you are strong. You can't pivot from fighting a 135 pounder to a 245 pounder. My God, to 110 pound difference or something. You can't just pivot quickly like that. This needs to be systematic. We need to prepare. And the people around him, by just allowing him to just just take this so quickly. Obviously, Jake Paul brings in a lot of money for everyone who's associated with him. I just can't think they're giving him good advice. And unfortunately, you know, when you're in the situation where you're the money man, backslap as an arse kisser.
Simon Jordan gave a harsh critique of Jake Paul. He compared Jake to Wile E. Coyote, always overestimating himself and chasing impossible situations. Jordan warned that hype won't save Jake this time. Joshua is a real test, a reality check where words don't matter, only actions. Previous tactics and showmanship will not work against a fighter of Joshua's caliber.
The level of his skills. So we know that this is an entertainment proposition. It's an event. It's not a serious boxing fight. It's only serious because Anthony Joshua has such a huge reputation. It's only serious because of the scale of money that's available to these two protagonists. Other than that, the way it plays out is Jake Paul gets knocked out. I would suspect he gets knocked out or stopped in the most harmless way, in terms of maybe he gets a body punch which takes him out and he doesn't get headhunted by Anthony Joshua, because if he gets hit by a shot that hit Francis Ngannou, he's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
No two ways about it. But
it's not scripted. It's not scripted.
I don't think it's scripted, but people are.
But you're making it sound there that maybe it is slightly scripted.
No, I think it's an inevitability about what the outcome is likely to be. I think Anthony Joshua.
Every other fight is scripted.
There's a jeopardy. There's a jeopardy that the top fights. If Anthony Joshua, and I can't inhabit the mind of an elite boxer, but I'm going to try and have an attempt at, having spoken to a lot of them recently on Talk Boxing, is that when you're fighting Daniel Dubois and Alexander Usyk, you are on high alert. The only thing that Anthony Joshua is on high alert about at this moment in time is his reputation if it takes too long to get rid of this twerp. But the actual jeopardy for him in terms of the damage he's likely to... He knows if Daniel Dubois hits him, he's in trouble, and he felt it and he knew it. He knew that if Alexander Usyk got into a rhythm, he was going to get his head boxed off. And there was damage for him here there. The only damage to Anthony Joshua, potentially, is not physical, is reputational-wise. So there's not the same call to action mentally, despite the fact he's got a killer's mentality, and he talks about it himself.
Yeah.
He'll go in there, and I think he'll do what's required to get rid of Jake Paul.
I think it goes in there, Simon, because there's a lot riding it